Good evening. It is evening now, or close to it. Nonetheless, we're happy that you're here. This meeting of the Caldwell County Board of Education on October 10th, 2022 is called to order, and we're certainly pleased that you've taken the time to join us this evening. We'll be recognizing some of our students and so forth later. We always look forward to that. We're fast approaching the end of half of our first semester. That'll be coming up here within the next week and a half to 2 weeks. So it's amazing to think that we are about halfway through the first semester. Okay, the next item on our agenda today is the invocation to the board, and I'd like to call on Mrs. Teresa Branch to do that.
All right, thank you. Thank you to all our students who are here this evening. We appreciate you being here, and we're excited to see what you have to share this evening. And thank you to our parents and families and to Caldwell County educators. Please know that we appreciate you, your support, and the strong partnership that we see every day between school and home and school. Please know that you are appreciated. Let's all please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Branch. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight we have students from the Caldwell Applied Science Academy. Angela Puerto Parata, daughter of Walter Puerto Mejia and Sylvia Parata. And also we have Caitlin Austin, the daughter of Jerry and Susan Austin. So if they'll come into this area here, and if you'll stand, the flag is at the back of the meeting room here.
Attention, government pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Angela and Caitlin, for being here with us this evening. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda, which the board has had several days to review. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second motion.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes by consent, and those are items 3B and 3C. 3B being our regular session meeting on September the 12th, 2022, and our work session minutes from September the 7th, 2022. Do I hear a motion that we approve the September 2022 minutes, items 3B and 3C as presented?
Chairman Penland, I move we approve the agenda board minutes, items 3B through 3C as presented.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. Next, we have some announcements, and I'd like to recognize BJ Ford to give some of those.
Good evening. I was telling somebody earlier, it's nice to have people in the house. During the summertime, we have meetings and there's like 2 people here, so it's nice to have people back. All right, today and tomorrow, which today's over with, but it's an optional planning day for the early college and CASA. I think they're following this fall break schedule of the community college. October 21st is an optional planning day for traditional school, and I'm sure that the teachers are looking forward to that. Some upcoming meetings, October 10th will be our Board of Education meeting for the month of October, and then, which is tonight. And then my favorite time is October 25th. We'll be doing school tours where we're going to Gamble Elementary, Gamble Middle, West Caldwell, and Caldwell. So that's all the announcements I have, unless somebody else has some other ones.
Thank you. Dr. Phipps.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ford mentioned the school walkthroughs, and our board did that last week. We went to Whitnall, Valmead, Horizons, the Applied Sciences Academy, and Early College, and just excited every chance we get to be out in the schools to see the instruction and the learning and the engagement that's going on in the classroom. It's exciting for us to get out and have that opportunity. And as the Chairman mentioned earlier, we're coming up on the first grading period to wrap up. We always look at that as a way to take assessments of where we're at and what we need to work on. And I want to say thank you to our students, to parents and guardians, with the focus being on attendance as we've started back. We're glad to be back to whatever normal is now and hope that we can continue down that path. But I want to stress the importance of attendance. And it's not just being present all day long, but being at school on time and not being tardy, and also reducing the amount of time that we spend with early checkouts really has a great impact on instruction. So we're grateful for you helping us do that. Also, getting work completed, making sure that you don't get behind students is very important. And the ongoing communication, as Ms. Branch mentioned, that communication between home and school is critical. So as we get close to the end of the first 9 weeks, I want to say, job well done, keep it up. We look forward to having a great year for you all being engaged in that type of behavior. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Phipps. Now we move into our honors and recognitions, but we have two special speakers here tonight, and then we'll be getting to our recognitions of our staff and our students particularly. First, I'd like to introduce and call to the podium the President, CEO of the Caldwell County Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Brian Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members, Mr. Superintendent. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor, and what a great crowd. It's awesome. Your Chamber of Commerce, as Teresa Branch had mentioned earlier, there's a lot of partnership that happens, and we're very pleased to have a partnership and be there in support of all of our schools and our community. And I just have a very short presentation. I promised Dr. Phipps earlier it would only take 50 minutes, but I think I can get through it in about 5. One of the things that may not be known is when a business or an organization is a member of the Chamber of Commerce, all of that organization is a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So all 25 schools of the Caldwell County school system are members of the Chamber of Commerce, and their principals as well. We have all of them listed on our chamber directory. Is a new thing. We haven't had that there before, but as of today, all that data has been updated, and we're really pleased to have them listed under our education platform for our schools. Our next slide, and there's a little idea of some of the listings that we have in our business directory of our schools and the contact information to make sure that we're here. If people find us on the web, we want to make sure they find our schools on the web as well. So we're very excited about that process. We do have a very enhanced website with our partnership with Google. Here in our community, they are very prevalent in helping advance our website a little bit more in a search engine process than we would have to pay for on a regular basis. So it gives us that lift. All 1,600 plus employees of the school system are also members of the Chamber of Commerce. So that's a very good thing to know, because we are all about connecting. Dr. Phipps and I have a very good working relationship, and many of you on the board, we do as well from the Chamber of Commerce. But we're in belief, if we could go to the next slide, is the word collaborate and what that means. And that next slide, it'll give you a little bit of a discovery, what we call deep impact. We think deep impact is an important process for growth within the community. It's not just the chamber and a business owner, or a chamber and the superintendent, but every person we can have an impact on is critically important to the success of our community. So those are folks that can participate, have an opportunity to step forward, and also possibly to have an opportunity to navigate and serve in the future, whether it's on one of our committees or some involvement level that we have within the community. Catherine, thank you. We have recently launched, and thanks to moving past pandemic challenges, relaunched the 747 Business Networking Connection Opportunity. There are event dates up there. I won't go through all of them, but we do have one coming up in October called Meet the Candidates Day. And in November, prior to Giving Tuesday, which is after Thanksgiving, we'll do a Celebrate Local Nonprofits event at the Civic Center. We'll give nonprofit organizations within the community an opportunity to share who they are. In the past, we've had 75 to 80 people attend these events, so we're very excited to do that. We think there'll be more than that at the nonprofits event, so we'll move that over to the Civic Center. And we do have a Meet Our Educators Day on March 17th. So very excited. All of our board members are invited to that, and we look forward to serving you from that perspective. We do have that information listed on our website if anyone would like additional information. The next thing I'd like to lean into, and I thank Dr. Phipps for posting a post on Facebook not too long ago of if you're going to an App State gate, check out take321.com. A call to the audience. Anyone seeing a billboard or have any idea what take321.com is? Anybody? Anybody? A few people have seen the billboards. We have billboards on the highway. Let me just tell you the purpose of this really quick. We recognize the fact that Caldwell County, from a tourism perspective, is not necessarily the final destination for most folks. A lot of people are deciding to go to Boone and Blowing Rock in the high country for vacation times and just weekend getaways. We do expect that they will come through this area, especially if they're coming from Charlotte and Point South. So our goal from that perspective is to give them an opportunity to discover our local businesses and restaurants, events, and things to do. So we put this process together and launched it in April. I'm very excited to have this. Those brochures that you see up there on the right-hand side, there are 25,000 brochures that have been distributed to visitor centers all across the Southeast, and making sure that Caldwell County now is on the map and giving people an opportunity to discover more of what we are rather than just a drive-through on their way someplace else. So it's a really good opportunity for us to grow. Kathy, we'll go to the next slide. There's one of our billboards that we have up. We are spending quite a large amount of money from a tourism marketing perspective just to get people to discover who we are. The next one is really important because one of the things that we were looking at with the process of putting this together, we've done a lot of work working with the school system recently and everyone within the community about the events page. The events page wasn't something that we originally planned on when we put this together, but the events page has given us an opportunity to be the most robust version of events and finding things to do in our community. We have things that are listed there from the senior center to local events that may have happened recently. We want every school in the community to discover this. We want every school to be able to say, hey, we have a fundraiser, athletic events, open house events, or community gatherings. If it's public facing, we would like it to be on that page. There's a copy of the menu from the Take 321 site. There's event posting tips that make it very easy for any administrator at any school to be able to tap into this. I'd love to see this more used and really help it grow so we can help share the information, especially if it's fundraising events that we know a lot of our schools are participating in. Next slide, Kathy. We also have an events listing process there. There are videos and things that you could watch. I won't go through all those details there, but any business that's a member of the Chamber of Commerce can be involved with the take321.com site, and that is a free service to our members. And if they're not a member of the Chamber of Commerce yet, we'll talk to them about that opportunity and find a way for that door to be opened as well. We're exclusive to Caldwell County only. We do not promote and focus on any events or things that are happening outside of our county designation. We know there's a lot of things to do in Hickory. We know there's things to do in Morganton. We know there are things to do in Blowing Rock and Taylorsville, but we're really focusing on our local economy, our local shop owners, and everything that we have about local businesses. There's a lot more of our platform that will be pushed forward into next year, but we have a lot of work that we have to make sure that local is really important. Kathy, this next one I have. We have a brand new email blast that's related to the take321.com process, and it is a Stay Informed Weekend Edition that comes up Friday mornings. It's an email version, so if you're not getting this, you can just go to the Chamber website, click on the button that'll pop up and say, I want to be participating. That'll give you a copy of that weekend edition. We just happened to have last weekend some things that are happening out at Sims Country Barbecue. I think I know where that place is. So you guys had a lot of events that are happening, and then we push people to the site so they can find things to do for their families and things to do for their community. Last thing I have is an update on Leadership Caldwell. It's one of our more important platforms that we have in Caldwell County through the Chamber of Commerce. For 31 years now, we have been celebrating leadership development, and it's a great platform to educate, develop, empower, and impact those that are in our community. And you don't have to be young to participate. We've had people of all ages participate in this. It's a real good opportunity for us to be able to share and discover the community, but In the course of the pandemic, we've been allowed the opportunity to discover a way to be intentional about leadership development. So we have some very robust leadership development classes, one-on-one coaching opportunities for those that are able to participate. The application season is now open, and we're ready to continue to serve. So we are offering lots of opportunities for our members, all of our schools, all of our educators to be involved with not only connecting, but we are very intentional about the growing process as well. So that's it. Just a little thank you message, and I appreciate everyone's time and allowing me an opportunity to be here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. We truly appreciate the great job that you do for the Chamber and for Caldwell County. The collaboration is wonderful between the school system and the Chamber of Commerce, and we appreciate the great job and the cooperation between you and Dr. Phipps. Next on the agenda is I'm going to call on Assistant Superintendent Dr. Katrina McKellen to introduce our next guest.
Okay. Good evening. Caldwell County Schools is proud to welcome Dr. Ashley McBride from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. She is a digital learning initiative consultant under the Division of Digital Teaching and Learning, and Caldwell County Schools was one of the school districts that was awarded a digital learning impact grant, and she's going to share some more information with you tonight. Thank you. Hello, thank you so much for letting me take a vacation from Raleigh. I much prefer to be out and in the school districts and seeing what wonderful things you guys are doing, but I am here to talk to you guys about the Digital Learning Initiative Impact Grant that was awarded to Caldwell County Schools. There was a lot of competition for this grant, and just a little bit of history. We've been giving these out since about 2017, but we don't traditionally do these large grants. Traditionally, we do one-year grants that max out at about $50,000. Well, the impact grants, we revamped them, and we ended up going with $95,000 for every year for 3 years. So Caldwell County Schools is getting an allotment of $95,000 every year for the next 3 years, where you guys are going to be putting in some Lego robotics in your elementary schools aligned with literacy competencies. We were very excited to see that you guys were taking STEM and literacy and putting it together to get the kids really excited. We are very impressed with what you guys have done with your STEM bus and some of the other wonderful things that have been going on here. So it is my honor to be here to say thank you so much, first of all, for applying, and congratulations on getting that grant.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. McBride. We're happy to have you here in the mountains. And certainly thank you so much for the grant, and sounds like some really exciting things that are going to be taking place as a result of that $95,000 over the next 3 years. So thank you. Next, I want to call on our Director of Community Relations to do the balance of our honors and recognition, Mrs. Libby Brown, and the board's going to move to the front here and congratulate those that are recognized.
Board Chairman Pennell, Vice Chairman Branch, board members, and Dr. Phipps. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. And as Mr. Ford said, to see our room full of our parents. It is so energizing. It gives us that momentum we need to just keep going forward and moving ahead and doing great things in the Caldwell County Schools. And one of those great things you have already seen in the hallway of the Education Center with our Education Center Art Gallery. It is beautiful. It adorns our walls. It helps us stay connected to the schools. And it's such a delight to see the beautiful colors and the artistic abilities we have in the Caldwell County Schools. So I'm going to dive right into it, and we are going to recognize the West Caldwell, some of the West Caldwell High School schools, that pattern we have here today. Of course, we have lots of after-school activities now. There's lots of club activity. There's actually a dance tonight. We have organizations doing after-school events. So those are all good things. So thank you, parents, for staying involved and supporting those as well. So for the students who are here, please come forward and you will get a lovely medallion and a certificate of appreciation from our school board. So we're going to start with William Lenore Middle School. Ryan Cooper is principal. Jacqueline Cahan is the art teacher. And our first student is Alette Suzelis, 5th grade. Okay. Yes, please join us. And Branson Pennell, 8th grade. Branson Pennell, 8th grade. I don't think Jessie Spears is here this evening, or Jaslyn Contrera. Both of those had activities, but we do have Riley Ritchie, I think, is here, 8th grader. So Riley, please join us. Would you like for me to do another school? Let's do it. Okay, let's get a picture of William Lenore Middle School and their art students. And please, you can see and enjoy their pieces of artwork as we are recognizing them. So parents, please feel free to get in the aisle, grab a picture. Riley, fix your hair. Congratulations. Our next school is West Caldwell High School. Dr. Todd Griffin is with us, principal, and Dabney Smith, the art teacher. Of course, we do have students involved in other things, but we also have students here. Hannah Townsend Jr. is not with us this evening, but Kaylee Sudreth, sophomore, is with us, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so come forward. Okay, and Sayed Perdomo Denare Jr., beautiful artwork for Sayed, but he is not with us. Jackson Felder, he was not able to be here as well, but we do have Shanila Dula Jr. She has her whole family is here cheering her on. So come on up, Shanila. Yeah, you guys get over here. Get over here front and center. Get over here front and center. Yeah, we don't want you over there. Get over here. Just make yourself at home. We're in no hurry. Get your pictures. You're welcome. Thank you. We love the artwork.
Yes, sir.
So who's taking credit for the talent? Thank you, Josh. Now we have Lower Creek Elementary School. Brooke Cooper is the principal. Hannah Bryant is the art teacher. And Susan Walker, the assistant principal, has always also joined us. So Susan, if you want to come up. We are going to recognize our artists at Lower Creek Elementary School on display, starting with Finley Ford, 4th grade. Finley Ford. Is Finley? Okay. Okay, beautiful piece. Okay. Fabio Foresti, 3rd grade, but I'm not sure Fabio is. Oh. All right. And we have Emma McMath, 2nd grade. Salem Cannon, 3rd grade. Salem, oh, right here. And we have Peyton Ritchie, 5th grade. And I'm not sure Peyton is with us. Okay, but we have this lovely group of art students here. And parents, again, feel free to take photographs. Okay, thank you. Do you need more medallions? Okay, one of our other favorite things to do throughout the school year is to acknowledge our character education students. And so we are doing that again, of course, this school year. And we will be recognizing the students in elementary, middle, and high school who are representing 2 character traits. The character trait in August is determination. The character trait in September is responsibility. So we're going to start with our determined students who were selected at the elementary, middle, and high school level. And as I've talked to their parents, these students have incredible stories. We don't have the time to just go into why they have reached this level of recognition, but they are more than deserving to be the recipients of determination. So we're going to start with, and I'm not sure, I've talked to everyone, but Horizons Elementary, I'm not sure if they're here with Navarius Horton. I think, but we have the other students. So we'll get that to Navarius Horton, and that's our student for elementary. Hayden Boone. So I know Hayden Boone is here. Hayden, if you want to come forward. We are very, very proud of you and your determined spirit. Hayden is Granite Falls Middle School. Chris Ackerman is principal, and he's an 8th grader. So let's give a big round of applause for Hayden. We are also going to go ahead and get all of our determined students together. I just read it a word.
You're determined to get it done.
That's right. Our other student, and I'm going to tell you how determined he is, Ethan Morgan, is on fall break, but he is here with us this evening from Caldwell Early College High School. He is a senior. Meredith Griffin is principal, but he has an entire contingency from Early College, so come on up with him. think Mr. Hayden's dad wants to get a picture. Yeah. Okay.
Good job, guys.
Congratulations. Our next character trait is responsibility, and we know how important that is in the adult world to be responsible. These children have learned it at an early age, the value of responsibility. So we're going to call up our first student from the elementary level, to Landis Smith, Whitnell Elementary School. That's Chad Smith, principal, and Chad Stevens is the teacher. So we have
Good to see you. Congratulations.
lots of support here from Whitnell. Thank you. Yes. Our middle school student is Bentley Smith from Caldwell Online. Julie Hall is the director, and he is a 7th grader. And then our high school student is Brianna Banks from Caldwell Applied Sciences Academy. Chris Green is principal, and she is a senior, so congratulations.
Are you on fall break also? Thank you for being here. Congratulations.
We may have to, yeah. So congratulations to all of our parents for being here, having these wonderful children and sharing them with us, and for the students. Thank you. That's it.
Let me just mention, we were talking about the grant earlier, and I failed to recognize the chief grant writer, Mrs. Amy Filial, back here. Amy, if you will, stand up. We appreciate all that you do. So thank you very much. And we're getting ready to start our business session. You're welcome to stay for that, but now would be an appropriate time if you want to slip out for dinner or homework or whatever. Thank you for being here.
What can we do?
Okay, we're going to continue on with our meeting. I'd like to call to the podium now Mr. David Johnson, who is Assistant Superintendent, who's going to be presenting the Human Resource Services agenda tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Dr. Phipps. Tonight I'm going to start with a couple of usual and customary items for Dr. Bill Griffin. Item 8A, usual and customary informational items only. These require no action from the board. Item 8B, usual and customary action items contracts. I would request a motion that these approve the Human Resources usual and customary action items contracts as presented.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the Human Resource Services usual and customary action items as it relates to contracts?
I move that we approve the contracts as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item 8C, usual and customary action items, substitute listing. I would like to request a motion for approval of usual and customary substitute listing as presented.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the Human Resource Services usual and customary personnel action items as it relates to the substitute list?
Chairman Penland, I move we approve the substitute list under the usual and customary items as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So
And
those are
motion
new
passes.
subs we're adding to the rolls?
That's a nice
Very good.
list.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
19 more.
Yeah, that's
That's
great.
very good.
Thank y'all.
Item 8D is the October board transfers. The total number of transfers requested, 9. Total transfers recommending board approval is 9. Total transfers not recommending board approval, 0. That will bring the total board approval for the 22-23 school year to 1527. I'd like to request a motion for approval of the October board transfers as submitted.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the October board transfers for year 22-23?
I move that we approve the transfers as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I think you're going to continue
Yep.
on.
I'm going to continue on with
Very good.
Section 9A. I've got budget amendment number 1 for the State Public School Fund. If you remember in the work session, I think we talked about that all the allotments were not out yet. So here's another big chunk of them. This is for the Digital Learning Grant, School Nurse Grant, Child and Family Support Teams Grant, Cooperative and Innovative High Schools, Supplemental Funding for Teacher Compensation, and School Connectivity for a total of, for the State Public School Fund, $3,630,837. And Budget Amendment 2 for the Federal Grant Fund, $8,125,276. And this is mainly carryover for the federal grant funds and new allotments that we did not receive on our initial allotments. I'd like to request approval of Budget Amendment number 1 for the State Public School Fund and Budget Amendment number 2 for the Federal Grant Fund. If approved, it'll bring the total budget to Caldwell County Schools to $154,117,803.84.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we approve Amendment 1, State Public School Fund, as well as Amendment 2, which is the Federal Grant Fund?
Chairman Penland, I make a motion we approve Budget Amendment 1, State Public School Fund, and Budget Amendment number 2, the Federal Grant Fund, as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anyone have any comments or questions?
Can you give me that total budget again? That 154 million?
$154,117,803.84.
Thank you.
And I will make a side note. That is less than last year's budget, but you got to keep in mind we've spent down some of our ESSER funds. They were one-time funding, and also the project at Granite Falls Middle, the capital outlay, that total of $25 million is, you know, we've
Right.
actually had the grand opening ribbon cutting for that facility. So that money's been spent, so it's not in our budget anymore.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We gotta vote. Did we-
We didn't vote, did we?
First and second, we need a unanimous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr.
No,
Johnson.
wait. You did,
Need to
didn't you?
ask for all
Yeah,
unanimous.
we just got the first and second. We haven't voted.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. We have motion and a second. All those in favor of accepting the state fund, state public school fund, as well as the federal grant fund, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next, we're going to be going into closed session. Do I hear a motion that we go into closed session?
Chairman Penland, I move that we go into closed session to discuss confidential personnel matters as listed on our current agenda.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. We will be going into closed session, and we do not expect any action once we come back out. So thank you for being here. Have a great evening. Okay, we are back from closed session, and we have completed our agenda. That being the case, do I hear a motion we adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And we are officially adjourned. Everyone have a great evening.